The EPA goes after Volkswagen for employing a device that enables diesel cars to emit fewer pollutants during testing. French President Hollande now says the country's oldest nuclear power plant will remain open. And Teresa Hansen interviews the Director of Technical Strategy and Policy Development at GE Digital Energy. Power Today for Friday, October 2nd begins in a moment. Stay with us. Hello and welcome to Power Today for Friday, October 2nd. I'm Cassie Haley. At the risk of stating the obvious, things are not going so well for Volkswagen these days. The Environmental Protection Agency has unveiled that Volkswagen intentionally skirted clean air laws by using a piece of software that enabled about 500,000 of its diesel cars to emit fewer smog-causing pollutants during testing than in real-world driving conditions. The agency ordered VW to fix the cars at its own expense. The German automaker also faces billions of dollars in fines, although exact amounts were not determined. The vehicles in question all contain a device programmed to detect when they are undergoing official emissions testing, the EPA said. The controls are turned off during normal driving situations, allowing the cars to emit more than the legal limit of pollutants. The EPA called the company's use of the so-called defeat device illegal and a threat to public health and called on VW to fix the car's emission systems, but said car owners do not need to take any immediate action. The violations do not present a safety hazard and the cars remain legal to drive and sell, while Volkswagen comes up with a plan to recall and repair them. It could take up to a year to identify corrective actions, develop a recall plan, and issue recall notices, the EPA said. Environmental groups hailed the EPA and California for moving aggressively to enforce clean air laws. Frank O'Donnell, president of Clean Air Watch, a Washington-based advocacy group, said, "The charges here are truly appalling, that Volkswagen knowingly installed software that produced much higher smog-forming emissions from diesel vehicles in the real world than in pre-sale tests." VW, which also owns Audi, said in a statement it is cooperating with the investigation, but declined further comment. In other news, according to a recent article in Power Engineering International, French President François Hollande has said the country's oldest nuclear power plant will now not be closed by next year, despite pledging that it would shut down during his election campaign. The reason for the U-turn on the Fessenheim plant is a law passed in the summer in which France caps its nuclear power capacity at its current level of 63.2 gigawatts. It was previously believed that the Flamanville plant would be online by next year, meaning Fessenheim would have to close to comply with the new law. But the beleaguered Flamanville plant continues to be dogged by delays and cost overruns, so Hollande has said that there is no need for Fessenheim to be closed so soon. Hollande told Le Parisien magazine, "What matters, however, is to start the procedures for closing Fessenheim. We will do it. This way one can say that it is irreversible." When Power Today returns, Teresa Hansen interviews the Director of Technical Strategy and Policy Development at GE Digital Energy. DistribuTalk is up next. Stay with us.
The power industry is always on the move. If you want the latest from inside the industry, we've got you covered. Weekdays at noon Eastern, I'll bring you the hot stories and major issues affecting the power industry. Power Today, weekdays at noon Eastern. I'll see you there.
Welcome back. At a recent industry event, Teresa Hansen sat down with John McDonald, the Director of Technical Strategy and Policy Development at GE Digital Energy. Here's the first of their two-part discussion.
I'm Teresa Hansen. I'm the Chief Editor of Electric Light and Power and Power Grid International magazine, and I am here today with John McDonald. And John is the Director of Technical Strategy, Industry Standards, and Policy Development at GE Digital Energy. John, thanks for joining me today.
Hi, Teresa.
I appreciate you being here. I'm going to start out by talking, or letting you talk, a little bit about advanced DMS, or ADMS as most people call it. I know that you've been involved in that. Can you tell us a little bit about that, your involvement, and kind of the trends you're seeing there?
Yeah, the distribution system, is becoming much more complex. When we designed the distribution system initially, it was designed, the architecture was radial, So in other words, from source to load,
Right.
to the customer. And power flow was always in just one direction. And now with renewables being integrated into the system, we have electricity now flowing in two directions, and there's safety issues and protection issues. So the need for a separate control system and monitoring system for distribution is great, and to manage the complexity. So really what this is we call it an ADMS, an Advanced Distribution Management System. It's a combination of a basic, what we call SCADA, Supervisory Control and Data Acquisition
Right.
platform, and then advanced applications on top that optimize the operation of the distribution system. So there's a tremendous trend today in utilities looking at ADMS. And in fact, I was just at a workshop at Department of Energy's National Renewable Energy Lab yesterday and the day before, speaking at an ADMS workshop. And we had both utility perspectives on what their needs are, and we had vendor perspectives on what's being developed. So the opportunity today with ADMS is it's truly, of all the smart grid types of applications, and today the strongest business case is with optimizing the distribution system. And so the applications like fault detection, isolation, restoration, integrated volt-var control, these applications on an ADMS provide tremendous potential benefits to electric utilities.
Okay, are you seeing a lot of utilities that are starting to go in that direction, that are actually investing in these ADMS systems?
Yeah, that's a great question, because I can remember for many years where the utility operations group would say, there's no question that I need an EMS, energy management system, for generation transmission, but my distribution system is so simple that I really don't need a separate system to manage distribution. And that's changed. That's one of the biggest changes we see now, where the utility operations group says my distribution system is becoming more complex. I have renewables that want to be connected, my field people can't just open the upstream device now and assume that the feeder's de-energized.
Right, assume they're safe.
Yeah, because I have downstream contributions coming from renewables,
Right.
So the thinking's changed, and utilities saying, I do need a separate system. I have much more complexity. So there's much more interest now in ADMS.
Okay, great. All right, well, I have one more question I want to ask you. I know that GE Digital Energy is very involved in the whole Internet of Things. So can you just talk briefly about what GE is doing with the Internet of Things and kind of how you see that relating to electric utilities?
Yeah, so that's fairly new, as we all know. It was a little over a year ago that the Industrial Internet Consortium, IIC, was formed. And GE was one of the founding members, along with Cisco and IBM and AT&T. Really what we see, the application of the Internet of Things. Well, first of all, the Industrial Internet Consortium, energy is one of the verticals.
Okay.
But it's the Industrial Internet Consortium, so it's a number of different industries that are being looked at, where energy is one of those, one of those verticals. And then really the Internet of Things is we see, and many others see, is the next, we say, productivity revolution, where we can, with the application of technology, we can be much more productive in what we do. And it's three parts to it. So one is intelligent machines and connecting machines together. The second part is software and analytics, right? There's a big, one of the big trends today is we're putting more sensors into the field, which is producing more data, or the concept of big data.
Right.
What are new analytics where we can analyze the data in new and different ways to create more value, or new value to customers? So it's connecting intelligent machines, software and analytics, along with people. And what's neat about that is all of us, people, no matter where we are, and connect us any way that we can, and any time of the day. And the idea by the productivity revolution is saying that if there's information that you want in the future, you won't have to go get it. It will be with you. It will be available to you readily. So because the intelligent machines, the software and the analytics, all with communications will all be connected together in real time.
Okay.
So what we're looking at now is what's the impact of that on the new technology we're developing for smart grid,
Right.
for adding intelligence to the grid. How can we take advantage of this and have a productivity revolution, right, with specifically what we're doing
Right, in our industry.
in our industry. Yeah.
Well, it sounds like some exciting things are coming down the road.
Yeah.
So, okay,
Yeah.
well, thank you very much for being with me. I really appreciate it.
Thanks for the opportunity, Teresa.
That's going to wrap things up for us on Pinwell Hub's Power Today. If you want to bring your specific power interests directly to your computer, register for Pinwell Hub at hubs.biz/power. It's free, easy, and you'll be amazed at the amount and quality of targeted information we'll put on your screen and at your fingertips. I'm Cassie Haley for Power Today. We'll see you back here Monday at noon, 11 Central.